Oki. My name is Miisaminskiaki, Emily Fox. I come from the blood tribe, Kainai. My parents are Bernard Fox, Christina Fox. My great-grandparents are George Fox and Margaret Fox. On my maternal side, my grandfather was Bill Rabbit and my grandmother was Rita Rabbit. I come from a very large family on the reserve. I have a lot of relatives. But I just want to welcome you here today, and we're going to be making little miniature teepees today. I've done this with some students where I work. I work with the Catholic School Division. I'm a First Nations, Metis and Inuit Support Worker. I started out with the elementary, and that is where I would work with the students building these teepees. So we'll just get started here. I have a template here that I use, and so this is a paper copy. Then I would get students to cut this out, and then we would put it onto a kind of a hard paper, like a cardstock. It's just easier for them to trace out. So I placed it onto canvas. We're using canvas in this kit here. And so I placed it on the canvas here, like so. And then I use my pen, and then I would trace all the way around every little corner there. I would trace around, okay? So after I've traced it out, it'll look like this. I'll put that aside. And then once I've traced around it, I'll take my scissors and I've cut it out now. So this is the canvas teepee. And when we're going to be designing it, the Blackfoot teepee would have different designs around the bottom of the teepee. So if you look at this one here, that's completed, okay? So the bottom here would have designs, and it would, the pointy designs would be, referring to mountains, and that's where this family would have come from. They would be camping in the mountain area. If you saw one teepee that had like little hills there, so that would be the foothills area. And then other teepees just have a straight line with circles in there. I haven't drawn those, but I will leave it up to you to design your teepee how you would like. And then just looking at this part here, so this will be the bottom of your teepee. So when you're drawing your designs, make sure that it sits like this. This is the bottom, this is the top, because we don't want to have it upside down and then your designs are upside down. So we always make sure that the curved part is the bottom, and then you'll start drawing your designs on there. Or some of our people just have the plain teepees. They don't have any paint or design on it. I don't have the rights to speak about those, so I will leave that. So once you have cut out your teepee, you are going to put it together. So this is what it would look like. And I usually use a hot glue gun. So I would put the glue gun here and here, and I would put it together and just hold it for a few seconds. This is the opening, the door there. These are the teepee flaps here, okay? So then we'll move to here. So I've glued it, it's all glued together, okay? And then what we're going to do next is we're going to get our 4 skewers. Now the Blackfoot people always start with 4 poles for their teepee. And that's what we're going to do here. So these are a little bit long. And so I just kind of measured, put them inside, and I would measure how long I would need it. So I would just put it here. I measured just at the base there of the teepee. I would just hold it, and then I would cut it here. And I would cut all 4 of them just to keep the poles in place. Okay, so after we have glued the teepee and we put it in place, we would put it together like this. And so I'm going to glue this area and this area here. Okay. And once it's glued, this is how it would look here. And I've noticed that some of the teepees, they represent different areas where the clan would come from. So the bottom here usually would have a design if it was painted. Some would have peaks, and I haven't drawn that, but the peaks represented that the family were camped in the mountain areas. Some had just like little hills, so they came from the hills, and then others were just out in the flat prairie, and they were just straight lines down here with little circles in the middle. But I think you'll have an explanation in the kit, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But the Blackfoot tribe always started with the 4 poles when they put their teepee up. And then these are the flaps here. So the flaps can be opened, like in the summertime to let the heat out, or they could be closed in the wintertime to keep the heat in there and keep everyone warm in the teepee. In your kit, you may have to cut your circle here a little bit bigger just to show the door there. And on my paper pattern here, so it's got the dots here, and those represented the teepee pegs. So once they put their teepee together, you would have teepee pegs, and they would go in here, and that's how they would close it, and on the bottom here. And if you wanted to, you can add a couple of more teepee poles for the flaps. So that's what they would use to keep the flaps open or closed. So these would go in the hole there, and then they would stand here, and you would just move them around to open or close. So you would need 2 on each side there. And that's how it would look. Okay. So you'll have more of an explanation in your kits, and I hope you enjoy making your teepee. Thank you for joining me.